My mother-in-law is an absolute nightmare. She's trying to exclude me from my husband's family reunions and gatherings, all because she said I already had a child before I got with her son, so she doesn't want my child to be part of it because she's, quote, not real family. Well, can you imagine how my daughter feels about this? Well, I'll explain exactly how she feels. A bit of a backstory here. I'm a mother of 3, 34 years old, and my daughter Lily is from my first relationship. When I was young, I got pregnant quite early into a relationship with a not-so-great guy, and he left a couple months after I gave birth. She just turned 12, and he rarely saw her except to bring a gift every year or something. He's a useless father and has always been. After the divorce, I met my current husband. Lily was 3 before she was introduced to him. I've been with my husband, Cormac, for 8 years now. He's a sweetheart. He never minded that I had a kid, and he was great with her and me. Lily has my last name. My other children have his. When Cormac first introduced me and Lily to his mother, she began shrieking, and I mean shrieking, that I had a daughter. My husband and I were stunned, and Lily starts to cry, and everything sort of dissolved into chaos. Cormac did try to explain that it's totally normal for husbands to take in their wives' kids as theirs. Unless someone's the Queen of England, there's a chance at some point in the family tree somebody married a person with children. My mother-in-law, Dorothy, has been a pain in the butt about it since the first time we met. She always had an arsenal of snide comments and remarks about me not giving her a, quote, real grandchild, and how Cormac deserves somebody who could give him a real child. Cormac never stood for it, and she would not stop. As a result, I got pregnant, and now have Milo, who's 5, and Lyric, who's 7, with him. Although Dorothy has always been a good mother to Cormac, she's always treated me and Lily differently. I've never ever felt welcomed, never felt like I'm truly part of the family, and they ignore me at best and are mean to me at worst. And I feel childish saying it, but there's no other way to put it. They're just plain mean. How else can it be described when I was super excited to be pregnant again, and one day my mother-in-law turned to me at random and snottily said, "Women have babies every day. You're not doing anything special." Oh, but best believe she's obsessed with Lyric. The fact that this baby did not come from her loins is honestly the bane of her existence. She was constantly begging to watch him and take him places. I'm talking every single day. But Dorothy holds Lily at arm's length and does not treat her like a member of her family. She doesn't include her like she does extended family. Despite being there since she was a toddler, she does not consider Lily, quote, her son, and corrects people when they refer to her as her granddaughter. She says that Lily has her own dad, and yes, she does, but was hardly around when she was born and then left. It hurts Lily when her grandmother says it isn't Cormac's. Both my mother-in-law and father-in-law live out of state and have taken absolutely no interest in my daughter's life. They haven't even seen her for 3 years. During the past years, my husband and I have tried to get them to FaceTime my daughter, but to no avail. So, father-in-law starts calling her once a week or so, but it took so many attempts to even get to that point. My in-laws are both retired, so the lack of effort is certainly not due to the lack of time. They're also financially well off and have taken many trips in the last few years, just none to see us. When there's a family dinner at a restaurant we're not invited or whatnot, and when my mother-in-law and father-in-law were over for one dinner at our house, I had just brought dessert out when Dorothy gave a cookie box to Lily and said, "Share this with your dad." So, Ashley brought it to Cormac. Mother-in-law then corrected her and said, "That's your mom's husband, not your dad. The one who made your mom pregnant is your mom." She also gave my sons a chocolate box with similar instructions. The kids were so confused. My husband told her she was being disrespectful, and father-in-law excused himself that they both left early so the argument did not escalate, but after thinking about it, I was worried what kind of things mother-in-law might tell the kids in private. Especially Lily, who has always known she is not Cormac's bio daughter. Last Christmas, my girl did not receive anything from her, while other kids in the family got gift cards and cards. Also, all the kids in the family get a trip once a month, but my girl never gets to participate. Mother-in-law excuse was this: I forgot. Also, I'm literally ignored at every family gathering, which is about a monthly affair, at least, if not bi-weekly. I attempt to make conversation and get curled 1 or 2 word responses until they turn and find a family member to converse with. The other day, she was doing a family photo album and was gathering family pictures from everyone. Sister-in-law and her kids, brother-in-law and his kids, and so on. She called and asked if I could send her some pictures. I thought that was nice of her. I sent them pretty much after my call ended with her, and we were all invited to her house. The entire family was there to look at the photo album because it was finally complete. We took turns to look at it, and when it was my and my children's turn, I was stunned. Turned out she picked the pictures that had just me, Cormac, and my sons, not Lily. Although we took a ton of pictures. We were excitedly wanting to see the album, then asked why the pictures weren't there. I didn't even want to think about how Lily would feel. I was caught off guard, otherwise I would not have looked at them at all. I asked Dorothy, why did she exclude my girl? And she didn't even reply, she just straight up ignored me. I felt awful, so I got up, took my children, and walked out immediately, and Cormac followed. Mother-in-law called and was upset, saying me walking out like that was extremely disrespectful to the entire family. When I told her about what she did, she blatantly said, I don't want to lie to people. That girl does not relate to me in any way. She said she treats her well and will host her birthdays if I want, but she will not call her family. This is when I told her I don't like how she does this, how she treats our daughter like she's not there, like she's not part of the family. I told her we never ever asked her to consider her the same, but she excludes her and keeps her out. I told her I'm her mom and I love her. She got mad and told me I chose to birth her, and she did not choose to have Lily in her life. She also said it was not her business what my relationship is like with Lily. So, I told her today was a symbol of family. Lily felt left out when all the kids' pictures were there except for hers, although I sent her pictures of all of us as a family, and I argued a lot with her over this, and I hung up on her since she did not think that she did anything wrong. I hate to say this, but I think one thing that may factor into it is her different appearance and race/culture. You see, Lily looks just like any other white child, but she has a full head of black hair and brown eyes because my ex was Asian. My husband and I thinks that she's absolutely gorgeous. Another factor is that our sons are also beautiful and are regularly complimented by complete strangers. We've even been approached by modeling agencies after posting their photos on Instagram. Lily is overweight like her father, and she does not look like a model. She's still beautiful inside and out to me and Cormac, but we know this is a very big insecurity of hers, and she feels inadequate compared to them, despite many times trying to make her feel beautiful and shield her. My father-in-law's Facebook cover is a photo family, without Lily and me, and her frequently posted pics of our 2 sons, but rarely includes her. He buys them gifts, then he buys Lily. He frequently compliments them, but rarely Lily. He was better about it when she was younger, but now the different treatment is so obvious. His family hates the fact that Cormac is, quote, raising another man's child, and they don't like that Lily is coming over every time. Even if invited, Lily now refuses to see her family and knows they don't like her. To be honest, they don't like me much either. But they absolutely adore Milo and Lyric. Probably due to all this, she has bullied Milo and Lyric sometimes. She's a great girl and she's usually kind, but she frequently picks on them and has fought with them, especially now that she's starting to go through puberty and the mood swings are coming. Lyric has also started being nasty back to Lily and calls her fat and ugly. He includes Milo in this too. They do this thing where they stuff pillows up their jumpers and pretend to be Lily. I do my best to stop this behavior from both sides, but it's hard, especially because her school friends seem to think, well, taking Milo and Lyric's side no matter what happens and makes Lily out to be the instigator. She's told me that sometimes she wants to run away from home. My heart just breaks for this whole situation, and I feel like it's too late now to fix their relationship. I have numerous examples, but it would make the post miles long. People aren't broodmares and stallions. You don't tolerate them and then outright dislike their other kids, etc. If any of my kids marry somebody with kids themselves when they grow up, those aren't my bio grandkids, those are now my grandkids too. Well, that means they'll have a bonus grandparent. I will go by Ma, as the mountain woman of the family have done for ages. Now the main problem is Cormac's sister-in-law. Sister and Mom have been telling him for months about this event that they're planning at my father-in-law's house the day after Thanksgiving. Some context here. We live in the city, but every Maundy Thursday to Easter, we visit my father-in-law's province that's like 6 hours drive for a religious tradition. I know this might sound weird to a non-religious person, but every year, people there hold a ton of events, like reenactments of the Stations of the Cross through an actual mountain, self-flagellation, and a lot of other stuff. My husband's grandfather is one of the, quote, apostles in these affairs. That entails being one of the primary people in charge of events and portraying one of the 12 apostles in the reenactment. However, he is too old and can barely talk or walk anymore. So, my mother-in-law is the self-proclaimed gatekeeper of the tradition. Cormac's family is really highly respected in the entire town. This was something I witnessed constantly because everywhere we go, people always greeted us and often give us free stuff. I never realized how deeply rooted my husband's family's traditions were until I married into it. They're a religious bunch, steeped in rituals and customs that had supposedly been passed down through generations. But my mother-in-law is just awful. She constantly bothers us about going to church. My husband is only slightly religious, but he does not participate in organized religion, and, well, I'm an atheist, with atheist parents. My immediate family does not ever talk about religion or rituals unless we're complaining about it. It's horrible going to her home. When she isn't spouting her religious bullcrap, she's ruthlessly guilt-tripping my husband about everything. How I treat him, the fact that we don't go to church, the fact that we did not get married in church. She doesn't even see us as married in God's eyes. We'd finally agreed to get our marriage blessed by a priest, but that still wasn't enough. She treats me like the Antichrist, and this is all coming from a woman who believes that in God's eyes, she's still married, so to this day, yeah, she's been divorced for almost 20 years now. The problem is not that she is religious, no. The problem is that she is tactless, pushy, rude. If it wasn't religion, it'd be something else. She uses rituals and customs for control, just like a bully wants to control their victim. Okay, let's fast forward to now. We were like, okay, yeah, sure, we'll be there. The problem now is that we're taking Lily to the event. We thought it'd be a good chance for her to meet the extended family and feel welcomed and included, but a few days back, Dorothy called to tell us that they all decided that Lily could not be a part of it because it's supposed to show the grandparents with their lineage. She insisted that it was exclusively for true descendants. I almost did not even feel like going to their house at all because of this. I did not want Lily to feel excluded. Honestly, I don't even know what I was thinking, because I myself have never felt included in their family, so why would they treat Lily any better? Cormac made a couple of calls to his relatives, and guess what? They were all fine with Lily joining them, and they think she's family too. Now, I don't know how accurate this is, but during the Thanksgiving event, I heard somebody talking about how the next day's ritual was not performed before. And Cormac does not remember any tradition like this too. Contrary to Dorothy's claims, the tradition is not ancient at all. In fact, it was an invention of her. So, instead of confronting Dorothy immediately, I decided to bide my time until the next family reunion. The day came, and Dorothy, true to form, once again tried to exclude Lily from participating in the tradition. It was at that moment that I finally did it. I mustered up the courage to step forward and share the truth with everybody present. All of the extended family and even some community members, I loudly replied to her, "Why can't our Lily step inside?" Well, she took great offense to this and told me that her family has been doing this tradition for years before I just came into the family, and Lily was not going to be the one who tries to stop it. But before people started correcting her like, quote, "I think we don't perform this kind of ritual, Dorothy. Yeah, I think you meant something else and not particularly this one." The room was eerily silent, and more family members looked like they had their own doubts and suspicions about her actions over the years. Cormac asked her if she actually invented this tradition herself. Here's where things absolutely went off the rails. It quickly became clear that the truth about the tradition was just the tip of the iceberg. We soon found out that my mother-in-law had been using her position as the gatekeeper of family customs to manipulate the family affairs. She had manipulated the tradition, and it was a ruse designed to secure her and her husband's inheritance rights of the estate that they owned solely for her biological grandchildren, effectively excluding Lily, who did not share her bloodline. She kept a handsome amount to share to each child except Lily. We knew that she had the estate put away for all her grandbabies, but did not know until now that our daughter was excluded. The will is not out of date, and it was not an oversight. The will explicitly refers to our daughter by name and states that she will receive nothing. Dorothy is in excellent mental health and was practicing surgeon till last year, so it's not as if she's old and senile and did not know what she was doing. The land is not a problem, as my husband and I are fortunate enough to be doing well financially. The problem is the exclusion itself. If our daughter learns this, I know it'll crush her. She's dealt with a lot of hurtful commentary and assumptions, and we have spent so much time reassuring her that she is as much our child as Milo and Lyric, etc. I feel so angry at my mother-in-law for this, and I know that Lily will be so hurt to know that her grandma treated her differently in her estate's will too. Well, we then told Dorothy that we are prepared to get a lawyer involved as she did not do the right thing, but she said she was not in the right space to even talk to us right now. But for weeks, she would not do or say anything. We've gotten a lawyer hired and filed a police report on the situation. My father even left his business trip several days early just to help us with everything. Several of Cormac's family members offered our support too. So, this went on for months, and the fight was not just about exposing Dorothy's lies and seeking justice. It opened up a whole can of worms that nobody expected. Emotions, alliances formed, disputes within the family, you name it. What started as a need for justice and fairness now became a whirlwind of consequences and shattered relationships as well. Dorothy now hates me for calling her out on her BS. Example, bringing it to everybody's attention that she's a child hater and a sham. Update number 1. Hey guys, I'm just super overwhelmed by everyone and their support and responses, so just thank you before I continue. I wanted to tell you that we have changed Lily's last name to her father's. It's Lily's award ceremony in her school this week, so the same night we had the courier pick up the invitation card to send to Dorothy. In the envelope, we put the name Lily Walsh, which, by the way, is her dad's last name. We knew she would not come, but it felt so good to send her that envelope. We've also been taking her to group therapies, and it's also just really helped the self-esteem of her. And our lawyer spoke to us a couple days ago. He says that the will is specific and precise and not general or ambiguous. And when it comes to wills, ambiguity is what makes a case. He says that there are some ways to challenge a will written like this, but generally only if they exclude children, not grandchildren, or other further relatives. So, we had lunch with Dorothy and told them that we will drop the case, and her reply was, "Well, yeah, you have to." And then she left. We decided to turn her dogma narrative inside out. If she makes a comment, we turn her critiques into something more traditional. We made it about how we raised the family members who were respectful to children, no matter where they come from. God's kingdom belongs to children, and we should not embitter them. And I miss the old days when everyone had some heart. We weren't fake about it. When we were around them, we made it seem like it was coming from a conservative standpoint rather than a progressive one. I promised that she had no clue what to do from the look on her face. She was shocked. We put on the sweetest fox southern hospitality that we could, and oh boy, it made her mad like no end. I was like, hey, how's she going to complain about Lily now without sounding psycho? She'll have to say things like, wow, my daughter-in-law is a total jerk. She made Lily's friends with my entire family after I banned her from our family traditions. Now we're nothing but sweet and kind and amiable when she's around. To make her unable to see why she hates us and make her absolutely livid about it. This way, she actually looks more insane. Sometimes we would even make some small bets. Just let it go around about what subject she will bring up the most. Just doing this turns into a game for us both, which automatically makes Dorothy seem more like a joke. We were able to turn her rude, tactless demeanor into nothing but a joke, and the woman is losing all of her power over her son. Update number 2. So, Dorothy's no longer the gatekeeper of the traditions. It seems there was a huge conversation among the elder relatives, and they decided to stop letting her make decisions on the family matters. On one hand, we want to protect her from the pain, so we are seriously considering creating a trust with her, containing the same amount of money as the other kids will receive, and pretending she inherited it from her grandmother. Since the other family members are also shocked by my grandmother's will, I wonder if they too can make a small token contribution, perhaps out of the money left to them by Grandma if they received it, to the trust in order to show the entire family wanted to contribute to rectify Grandma's mistake. Even if each family member just contributed $20, being able to say that the entire family pulled together to make sure that the adopted son knows he is a real member of the family is really important. Obviously, asking for money from family members is a delicate thing, and the way that it is approached should be carefully planned, but some way of showing that all the aunts and uncles and cousins are on Lily's team will be a really important way of overcoming the pain of knowing what Grandma hated her. So, we know that my husband's siblings would go along with that plan, as they are just as shocked as we are. We could explain it as, Grandma may have left you out, but the rest of your family did not feel the same way, and gave up some of what they are giving so that you can have what have shown to be left for you. Takes the sting out of her grandma being such a jerk, huh? And drives home what the rest of the family thought was wrong. But on the other hand, if she ever looked into information about her, she could potentially find her will and she would learn the truth. More than anything, we know that we would be lying to her about something as fragile as the love of a family member. Even if she would not go looking for the will specifically, her grandma was well known for historic medical spiritual reasons, and I could see her looking to find more about her. I know it's probably just paranoia on my part. I just can't imagine how she would feel if, well, he knew she excluded her and we all lied to her about it. I would hope in the long run she would realize we did it out of love, but that might take some time. Thank you guys so much for all the support with the situation, and I hope to update you guys in the future. Oh yeah, and to the person saying we're gaslighting my mother-in-law, no. She's more than welcome to have a bigger part in our lives, and as soon as we can make it though. One freaking lunch without some kind of attitude from her. Update number 3. Thank you guys for all your kind advice. I will read everything but likely will not respond, so I just want to give you a small update. I was cooking in the kitchen and all of a sudden I hear a loud bang, preceded by crying Lily. When I rushed into the hall, I see Lyric towering over her. "You're not real. All of this is mine." She starts screaming, which was incredibly confusing to say the least. After calming them down, I asked Lyric what he meant. He then revealed that Grandma Dorothy had told him that he was, quote, Mommy and Daddy's real child. This made me so mad. I asked him what else Grandma had told him, and he told me all about how she had been telling him that Lily was not really his sister, and how he should have an extra attention for being extra special. How he's always going to be Grandma's favorite grandson, and so much more. She even told our daughter that her step-grandparents will never really love her because she isn't actually theirs. My husband's going to talk to her tomorrow since he cannot say much with the kids in the room, but I think this time mother-in-law has crossed a major boundary line and should not be allowed to spend time with them unmonitored anymore. Update number 4. Hey guys, guess what? Cormac blocked Dorothy on everything after sending her a text, detailing her actions and how this was absolutely unacceptable, and how she'd never be seeing her grandkids until they were much older and understood the situation, so they would not be swayed by her words. He also added this. Mother, if I hear one word or see one action regarding real grandchildren or anything that's not 1,000% supportive, it all ends immediately and permanently. You can think of it all you want, I don't care, but one slip to Lily and you're done. And I mean it, just one. I will move continents to remove you from their lives. Don't you test me. Well, then she called my husband right away and cried, and he told her, I love you, Ma, but if you will not respect us, we will be spending very little time with you in the future. Why would I ever want to spend time with anyone who disrespects me, my wife, and my daughter? It's not a religious thing. It's a respect thing. In the hopes that she might realize her doings and come out to meet Lily and us, Cormac sent her a long handwritten text and email. But she has refused to acknowledge any of those attempts. The only time that she responded was she sent an email in all capital letters, right back to him warning him that if he attempts to contact her in any way, she will disown him. Well, this has really saddened my husband and has made me very angry with the way that she's treating him. We recently met at a baby shower, and when she expressed her concern about her son turning like this, Cormac reminded her that one of the 10 Commandments was to, quote, love thy neighbor as thyself. In practical application, meaning to be good to all, and the First Amendment right guarantees us all the freedom to decide for ourselves. And last, that it's a general rule of thumb to, quote, not discuss religion or politics in good company. The last comment hopefully served as a compliment, as in referring to Dorothy as good company. But she could not agree to treat me and Lily with respect. Well then, she blew up at us, calling us unforgiving people who were holding a grudge to punish her. Sister-in-law sides with her, saying that we should not be denying her grandsons because we can't let go of the past. She does not understand that we are not punishing her by keeping the kids away but protecting them, My husband replied, "Would you be the one willing to re-slice the pie to include my daughter?" She muttered to sister-in-law and left, and that night, she called my husband and told him the will is now changed. Lily's included along with the other kids and asked to check with the lawyer further. We rejected her heartless statement and we told her we don't want a single penny from such a hate-filled person, and had asked Dorothy not to visit our sons anymore as it will affect our daughter. Even before my husband spoke to Dorothy, we'd already talked to a lawyer who deals with money, and he said that he can set it up so that we can deposit the amount the trusts are worth now, and it'll accrue additional money at the same rate so our daughter will never know the difference. We are financially able to set up a trust with the relatives' money, and Lily's the oldest child, and none of the other kids know about the money yet, and probably won't ever for a while. It's just a matter of morality. I know my husband's siblings won't tell their kids the truth, and I won't divulge it to themselves. Also, one of my close friends shared with me that she used to regularly read research and articles mentioning her parents and their accomplishments, but it never occurred to her to read the will or even look. There were also substantial funds left in a scholarship that she never even wondered about how much until I called her. She said she knew the money they left for philanthropy probably far exceeds her inheritance, but did not bother her in the slightest. Nor does she have any interest in trying to figure it out. She doubts this is something Lily will ever even look at. Me and Cormac agree with her. We want Lily to be happy, and if hiding the truth makes her happy, so be it. Wow. I felt so bad for Lily this entire story. She was just caught between some weird family feud, and Dorothy, oh boy. She was some sort of petty, which I have not seen in a long time. But I'll be honest with you, the comment section was actually letting Dorothy have it. They were ripping her left and right, saying the family doesn't even agree with Dorothy, and they were wondering, why did OP put up with this for so long? Why did OP not just say from the very beginning, you know what? If Lily, my own daughter, is not good enough to be at the family gatherings, then I'm not going. So I'll leave it at that with you guys. Drop your comments down below and let's discuss it. What would you do if you were OP and they're telling you, specifically Dorothy, that your daughter is not welcomed? Let's talk about it in the comment section. Guys, thank you for joining me. That's all the content for today. My name's Mr. Reddito. If you want more daily videos, smash that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys in the next one. And remember, it's cool to be kind. I'll see you guys later.